What's up?
What's up, everybody? So I was going to do so. Let's get ready to mumble. For all that's not here before, introducing the Russian doll, one of the finest strains of Indiana white trash ever to come out of Terre Haute. Me, Sammy Speed, and my lovely wife. Yes, my wife. I don't care what anybody says. They want to argue with me. Well, cancel me. I got 15 fucking users. All right, all right. So introducing the personal bodyguard of everybody in the fucking neighborhood and the family, Kimmy, the enforcer. There's a reason for that.
Oh no.
Yes, already. So, what a day. Okay, so to get things started here, we just wanted to say hey, and the little enforcer thing was because of crazy shit that's happened this week. We have had some interesting ordeals with the neighbors and so on. So kind of different. But anybody that's out there, hello. And anybody that wants to give us a little chat, let us know. Please chat on either the on Facebook or the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So yes, we have a YouTube channel. Please, guys, if you can, anybody that's on YouTube or Twitch or any of those, please subscribe to the Sammitized YouTube channel. We are live there tonight as well. We're not watching the chats over there as of yet, but anybody that's sitting there watching, we'd like to hear from you. So, and we're eventually going to move over to that side. And then as for the, please subscribe, like, and ring the bell over at YouTube. Make us look good. The more that we subscribe, the more that people like us, the more they show it to everybody else. And hopefully somebody other than my family and friends will actually listen to this shit. All right. So with that being said, let's get started with the show. So anyway, we'll get started with Kimmy's enforcer ordeal with the with the neighbors going to work and going outside. And I'm not the smallest guy in the world. And it's so funny because Kimmy looks like such a nice person until you piss her off, and it goes into this like switching mode.
Yeah. Just a little.
And God, don't have her sunglasses on. Oh my gosh, somebody's gonna think it's like Insta bitch all over the road there.
Yeah, I'm told I'm intimidating.
So so people don't know what to say when when we both go in getting mad at something. It's like they don't, we're the nicest people in the world, but nobody else knows that. And right. You go in and it's like,
and you look like a formidable opponent to, I guess, most of these commoners around here.
Exactly. So this guy says, in this man, they have a dog that for older
they're
people.
Very nice people.
Yeah, they're very nice people.
No problem.
There's nothing wrong with them. That's not the problem. But they have a dog. It's really interesting because
it's a Sheltie.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And so anybody that's older than us, or in their 40s or older, will know who Lassie is, or have heard of Lassie.
Well, yeah, Lassie was a collie. This is a Sheltie, so this
I know,
is the
but it looks
version.
exactly
Yes.
Don't be picky. It's the same damn dog. It's a little smaller.
Yes.
It's like when they go out and they take a dog they get a basset hound and it's not a basset hound anymore because it's 1/3 the size.
Right, yeah.
Or 1/3 smaller.
Yeah,
it's like
it's a teacup.
It's a teacup.
Right.
It's a teacup Chihuahua. No, a Chihuahua's a football.
Yeah.
Pissed me off, Doug. But anyway, so this dog is, so if you go, and anybody younger than 40, just look up Lassie, all right? It's a pretty dog.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
but
very friendly.
It's very friendly. And basically the reason what Lassie is it's a dog that every time somebody got in trouble, Lassie would run
And
back,
save the day.
run back and find somebody and bring them back to save the
Yes,
day. You know,
yes.
that was the whole thing of the show.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. But back then
was
they
a
didn't
good
have
show.
YouTube or channels or,
Right. Exactly.
you know, they probably had 3 TV channels. And as long as it was, you know, back when we were growing up, there was, you know, we still had black and white TVs when I was growing up.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, you know, and people are like, oh, color. You know, it's like they have no idea. You know, UHD, you know,
Yeah,
Crystal.
exactly.
You know, these
Right.
kids these days have no freaking clue.
No clue what it was like.
We would have been mesmerized if we'd had a TV the size of our iPhone.
Yeah.
That was our TV. That was color. Oh, my
Yes.
God. What would we have done back then?
Whew.
We had never left the house.
That would have been a big
Yeah,
problem.
just like,
Yeah.
But, you know, the technology
We
that
wouldn't
would
be
have
who we
to.
are today. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on. You got to think about it this way. You know, when the internet came out, even
Yes.
before the 90s, it was like, you know, for guys, you know, I don't know about girls, but for guys, it was a nightmare because, you know, if you're a young kid, you know, and you didn't have a Playboy and you had internet, it's like you clicked on a picture and you'd be done before the picture came up.
Right.
It's like, ooh, I see the top of a nipple. I see the top of a nipple.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
It's like, good golly. It's like, I just want to see the whole picture. It's like,
It's not going to happen.
it's like, click. Let's go eat dinner and then come back and jerk off. But anyway, and come on, you know, every guy's done it. Everybody,
I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, back to Lassie and these people. So they're walking down the street, and we have a road that's like an intersecting road by our house. That's over by.
It's a bypass for a somewhat major intersection.
It's not a bypass. It's a road next to the other road that shouldn't be a bypass. Is the problem?
Yeah, but that's what people use it for.
Exactly. They use it as a bypass. They'll cut down, and it's like, oh, I see the turn signal. Let's fly down the road at 90 mile an hour.
Yes.
And then go down to and then go, you know, do
blow
a
the
cut.
stop sign, blow the other stop
and try
sign,
to get around
traffic.
to get around traffic, and
Yeah.
you know, 7:00 in the morning.
To be first. They have the me first disease.
The me first disease.
Yeah.
And we could talk about traffic as of late.
Ooh.
I don't know what the hell's in people's brains lately.
Everybody's psycho. I think
Everybody's
that's what
gone
it
into
is.
psycho mode.
Truly.
Psycho mode. And so this guy's flying down the road here, and he's got to be doing like 60. Now it's 25 in our area.
Yes, and it's posted 25, which, when we moved here, it was posted 30, and they changed it.
Yeah.
So
posted 25. So people are so basically these people are this guy's flying down the road, and the lady yells at the guy, slow down, you know, because it almost takes out her dog.
Yeah, and they're on the side of the freaking road.
Exactly.
When he's coming through.
Exactly. So it's like, and so what we don't expect to happen happened, and it happened so fast that at the beginning of it, I didn't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, this big, huge guy, non-native, I won't go any farther than that, comes out of his car and starts threatening our neighbors.
Our neighbors, yeah.
Now, our neighbors are they're card-carrying citizens of the NRA.
Yes, exactly.
To say it nicely.
Yes.
And so are we.
We're members of the same club.
Yeah, we're members of the same club. We have concealed weapons permits on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly.
people fuck around with us. They're gonna get it.
Get right with God first, please.
Yep.
There's your warning.
Yeah. It's like I beg to differ because I carry.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so long story short, we look over and see this guy, and he's yelling at them, and then I look over, and by the time I look over, I don't have a smile on my face. Neither does Kim, but we look over and we start walking over towards that way to see what the hell's going on. And then the guy looks at us, realizes there's a big dude and a really pissed off woman coming his way.
Exactly.
Jumped in the car, and he bolted out there faster than he was going to start with.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk anymore. No, as quick as he got out of the car, he got back in it faster.
Anymore. But
yeah.
So Kimmy goes to save the day again. So the next day, it's like We're out there waiting for
I
this
was
guy.
waiting for him to come through the
Yeah.
road because I've seen him more than once.
I've seen him more than once, and I don't think he's coming back though. After that,
I hope not. I hope he learns to leave 10 minutes earlier than normal and just sits
I
through the
just think
traffic light.
whether he needs to wait at the light or not, he's going to wait at the light.
Yep. Take a different road, fella.
So.
Because I'm on a corner and I got them both covered.
Exactly.
And
So.
if I don't have them covered, well, there is law enforcement. I've called in backup.
Yeah, right. So anyway, and when we were younger, when you're younger, you're a little more feistier than you are now. It's
True.
like you
don't think you're ever going to get hurt or die.
Exactly.
When you're young. Yeah.
And you can tend to do shit that you shouldn't do.
Very true.
And before I even get into any more conversations tonight, I will repeat the disclaimer if anybody didn't see it earlier. Anything I say or do or did or could have done
has been done out of
is in comedic value only. Please do not try now. Yeah, the first thing I was told last week was you might want to put a disclaimer on your thing. Throwing rubber balls at cops is maybe not the best thing you should be telling people.
Well, we weren't instructing anyone to do it. We were saying this is what happened back in the 80s.
Back at late 80s, early 90s, we had people doing this.
Right.
Yeah. We I wouldn't go out and throw a rubber ball at a cop or pee on them or anything like that.
Absolutely not. I absolutely respect everyone that serves. I have no issues. But when you're a young punk kid,
exactly.
You don't have that same respect.
You don't have that same.
You haven't learned that same respect. Yeah.
When we were younger, Kimmy would make Kobe Bryant look like an amateur at the hook shot. Okay. And I mean this with all with everything out there. I mean, literally, she would be. She could chuck a thirst buster better than anybody could chuck a basketball. Put it that way. There's been many times that when we were very, very young, and I say very young because
very young, yes.
Yeah, we would not
teetering on legality.
Yeah, teasing. We will keep the legality to this minimum. That driving down the road and somebody there was one time that we were driving down the road and when we worked for the family business, it was like everybody got the cool car except for me. I ended up with this
You ended up with somebody's piece of junk.
I got this car that my brother had bought for me. God bless his soul, because he let me drive it everywhere because I didn't have a car at the time.
True.
And your car had died. In fact, we traded your car in to get $500 for
right exactly.
towards this piece of shit. And it was an Escort. By the way, Scotty, she replied to that, not me. I will plead the fifth on a chance it might incriminate me, and I have been married, or at least together, for 30 years. Okay,
right.
I'll leave that one alone.
If I threw something at him, it wasn't in anger for sure.
No, maybe not at me. She might have threw me, but not at me.
Yeah.
Not at me.
Right. True.
Okay. But anyway.
Fair.
So, but anyway, back to the little story. So we're driving down 41. Now there's 3 lanes of traffic, okay, by the airport, and something about red Cadillacs did not like my little Escort.
No.
Or me.
Yeah, it was like you were driving next to the devil himself.
Yeah, and it was, and I don't know if it was the same red Cadillac or what.
Could have been.
I mean, you never know.
You remember that guy? I remember the gestures he made.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had made these, we were driving in one lane and he flew up on our ass. And and like an Escort goes quick, but it's not, Lightning McQueen or anything like that.
It wasn't in high output.
Yeah.
It didn't have a turbo.
Yeah, it was like...
It was just your standard Escort.
But the only cool thing about this car was it was a stick shift.
And it was small.
And it had a sunroof.
And it had a sunroof.
And,
true.
And at that, it was ugly. It was red. It was... It was like the bottom of the line, and there's a car dealership that's not Gettle, I will say, the car dealership that's not Gettle, that is in town. That's a competitor. That they take cars and they'll buy these wrecked cars at the time.
Yes.
From people that they'll like buy the wrecked car that somebody gets.
Yeah, they got their insurance check, and instead of investing it in the car to repair
they went out
and
they were traded in at this car dealership off of First Street. We won't go any farther than that.
Yep.
Starts with an F, ends with an S, and they would go out and repair the car, no matter how bad it was, and then stick it on their used lot.
Yep.
And then they'd give you this awesome deal on it. You always wondered why this car was so cheap.
Why was it so cheap? Yeah, that's
why. So my brother buys this $5,000 friggin' Escort.
Yes.
And and Scotty knows, because in Bradenton it's not just them, but they're one of them.
Yeah, they're one.
But the difference is that when we have this row, we call it it's Onico, it's rednecks by the beach. And these $5,000 cars and less used to be what happened is all these old these little car lots came up on this road that used to be 301 in Bradenton, and not to localize us or anything, but but this whole strip had just all these old ones. What they would do is they just buy cars from all the new car lots,
right,
and throw shit together, and go out there and put them up,
right.
In fact, there's like Scotty and my buddy Scotty. He's on the thing today, and a couple of our other friends. We used to go out to these lots and we look for like IROC Z's and shit.
Oh, jeez.
And we would drive out there and ask them to test drive like an IROC Z back when you didn't have to have somebody else in the car with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'd take it out, and the Walmart used to be, the Sam's Club used to be out there,
right,
behind the airport, and we'd sit there and do donuts in their parking lot early in the day, and then take them back after, you'd smell the tar, smell the rubber frying on the tires and everything else. It's like, here's your car back. Nah, we're not interested. And so we do that a lot.
We're looking for something more economical. Or whatever. Right,
exactly. So the long and short of it is that so we had this red Escort.
Yes.
And we
drive in the Cadillac.
And this guy in the Cadillac, it flies up on our ass, and like you can't even see the grill or anything. No. All you see is this old fat man's head.
Yeah, making these gestures,
and
this one.
Yeah, and he's giving Kimmy the hand gesture of pulls up next to us and starts doing this. By the time I see it, and I go, "You ass!" I didn't even get hole out.
Yeah.
And the guy rolled his window down, and right as he rolls his window down, and I say, "You ass!"
Yep.
I see the front of his car. In this explosion of ice and water, it was soda.
Yeah, right.
Explode on the hood.
Yes.
And I'm like, and at that point it went from hole to oh shit. You could see the fire in this dude's eyeballs. You could see him
literally light up.
And like the devil did come out of this guy, and out the ears, out the eyes.
Oh yeah, I mean it was truly cartoonish.
It was freaking insane.
Yeah.
So I'm in an Escort now, trying to get away from a 400 horsepower freaking Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
And this guy is not letting up. And I mean, I go through and I zig and I zag. I went through parking lots, and there's this one parking lot in Sarasota where there's about a 2 foot drop.
Yeah, at least a foot and a half.
Right in front of this liquor store.
Yes.
And I'd went through the liquor store thinking, I zigged and zagged. I'm like, he's not going to catch up to me. The guy went off the 2 foot thing. Now, mind you, it's a soda. Okay.
Right.
if he could have calmed himself down,
right,
it would have been like, go wash it off. There's a car wash down the street.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Right, exactly.
Even the hose.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't that at all. He decides that he's going to destroy this car just to catch me to whip my ass.
Yeah, he would have been in a big surprise if he would have caught up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so he chases us down the street, and I'm like, oh, shit. And he gets off that, and we're going behind these back roads, and the only thing that saved my ass was there was this little bitty road, and there was cars on both sides, and I swear God was my co-pilot because there was just enough room for an escort to go through it, but nobody else.
Right. His car was just a little too wide.
And so he screeched to a halt to try to back up to go around. Yeah. And so I zigzagged through the middle of the hood.
Yes, literally.
And tried and made it out to 301 and got away.
And
But it was like we went back, parked the car, got another car off the, one of my other brother's cars, and parked that thing. And I'm like, I'm not driving that damn thing to Sarasota unless I have to.
Cursed, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to the airport. I'm not doing anything. And I knew I didn't have to be back to the near the airport or Sarasota with the video game business until I think it was 2 or 3 days later. I was like, okay, everything will calm down. And so next time I'm in the car, I'm like, just looking around for it. And every time we seen a red Cadillac, I mean, it's immediate left or immediate right. Because I'm like,
it's like, I hope it's not that dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then every time that I'd let my guard down, then some guy in a red Cadillac would start tailgating me. And I'm like, oh, shit. I hope it's not.
Here we go again, right?
It's like, get out, get away. Oh. So, the good old days with piece of shit cars. Yeah, Scotty had a couple of those too. In fact, I tried to buy a couple from his brother as well. His brother had this white car on the side of side of his house. It was a Pontiac's version of I think, or Oldsmobile or something version of a Nova. And nobody back then, nobody would have wanted that car. Now they would have probably spent tons and tons and tons of money to restore it and probably sold it for $20,000-$30,000. But back then it was a $500 car.
Right.
So it was Scotty remembers it now. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, I mean, Scotty. I remember Scotty and I. We had this. We had his buddy, his name was Todd, and Todd had a Celica, a lowrider Celica, and it was we had made that damn thing so low that when you changed the lanes, it would take out the little reflectors in the road. Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. But this car, I'd love to have it now. It was like a 78 Celica GT. Can't buy one now for anything under 10, 20 grand.
Maybe.
If you're lucky. And I think he paid $1,000 for it, and we sold it for $1,500. But it was indestructible. We would get drunk and go in the back of these church parking lots, and we'd be at a party that was across the street from this church, and it was like we'd go steal the keys and go do donuts in it and roast the tires. And one time we, back before I had the abilities to spend money on stereo equipment, we had taken all of my home stereo stuff that was for our DJ stuff that Scotty and I used to do. Well, we were the ones that we got from the Buddy Byright that we talked about before.
Right.
And we threw it in the back of this car. And I remember driving to Tampa with all this stuff half-assed wired in it, and there's 8 different speakers, his speakers, my speakers, and somebody else's speakers in the back, and it was so loud, it was rattling everything. Clear, maybe not so much, but so we go up there, we're gonna beat these guys, and we got stuck on
a stereo competition.
Yeah, and I just remember driving over the one of the road between St. Pete and Tampa. Mm-hmm. And getting stuck on it, and and we overloaded the fuses, and it popped, and the stereo stopped working, and we were stuck on the bridge because of an accident, and we sat there for 20 minutes taking the car apart.
Oh,
Now,
no.
at any time, if the traffic would have moved forward, we'd been hosed because we couldn't start the car.
Oh, no.
So we're in this road. We're sitting in the middle of this
Can you
like
imagine
3-lane road.
The people behind you, what they're wondering.
Oh
what's
yeah,
going
we
on.
got the trunk up, the hood up, the
Right,
doors
yeah.
open, wires coming out,
Right.
everything else to
I
get
mean,
that shit running.
Imagine you got 10 people probably watching all this go down, going, these people broke down on this bridge, when in reality, you're waiting on the crap in front of you to move.
Oh yeah, and it was funny because it was like there was a show called what was it was BJ and what was the other one?
BJ and the Bear?
No, MJ and BJ.
MJ and BJ.
The MJ and BJ show. MJ's still on the air. BJ's somewhere else in another
BJ's
town.
somewhere else. He was my favorite.
Yep. But MJ and BJ and also Bubba came out there at that time.
Right.
And it was funny because all these stereos are there and they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is back in the 90s. And it was like 91. And here we are in a 78 Celica that has like road wear underneath it that is leaking oil everywhere because we keep hitting reflectors. and it's just rattling to death with these speakers, and all these other people are showing theirs off, and the people are looking at us, start laughing and shit. But the funny part was we won third place.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean third place out of all of it.
See?
Oh yeah. So I think Bubba was just. I think he just felt bad for us, so they gave it to us anyway.
Well, you never know.
So the other guys were pissed when we got it, though. The guys that were really competing, other than these really too expensive ones, because Mad Marks was there with his van, and
right.
Because going to another radio shop,
right,
and beating them at their own game,
yeah.
It was like,
a slap in the face back then.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
right.
and Mark used to love doing that. But it was just crazy that we went there with our POS. We were so happy. We're like going back home driving. Like, it was a long drive home, but it was fun.
Yeah, right.
No AC. And remember those days when we didn't need AC?
Yeah.
God.
That goes back to that young and inexperienced
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Like me, you weren't smart enough to know you were hot.
Yes. Right.
People go, oh, it's because of was that warming?
Global warming.
Right, bullshit. Yeah. It was fucking 90-something degrees then, as much as it is now.
Yeah, it's a season. It's called summer.
For some reason, when you're a kid, you just didn't give a shit about heat. Yeah, it's like, and so yeah, I do. This guy is talking about drag racing. Oh my god, I remember doing those all the time. We went to drag races.
Yeah.
This guy, I remember this one time, Scotty and I went to this drag race, and I was showing him about it, and we're just hanging out in the back, and this guy gets in this really gorgeous, like, Nova, and back then, cars didn't have, like, you look on TV these days, and it was like they have thousands of horsepower in these cars that are on, like, the Street Outlaws or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Back then, it was
technologies move forward.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was like, if you had like 600 horse, you were like, holy shit, that guy's got 600 horse.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, nobody knew that you had to put real brakes on a car and all that other shit.
Right, yeah.
So basically, so we're at this racetrack, and they're doing a drag race, and the car flips and lands in a ditch. Yeah.
Not good.
No. It was like it took off, and we're like sitting there, yeah, this is cool. It was the first race. It's like, boom, boom, boom. And we're like,
yeah.
We look at each other, time to go. I ain't gonna be witness to this shit.
Yeah, right.
Peace, I'm out of here. It's like, hell with this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're done.
Right. Yeah.
We'll come out next week.
Yeah, after all this is cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm like, bits and pieces all over the place.
Not enough Emmetrol to keep me happy here.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not. I think I'll pass on that.
Right.
so, yeah. It was funny. Everybody's split. This guy's like, his car's all mangled, and he had
no
this thing,
one's around,
and nobody's around.
Yeah.
It was and back then it's like, it's not like now where everybody's in secret or something. It was just so blatant.
Right.
Like all of a sudden you just seen like 30 freaking cars at the 7-Eleven down the street, and you're like, okay, I know exactly where they're going.
What's going on? Right.
They're going down a half a mile over to the left, and that's just the way it is.
That's
And what's really crazy about it is I used to go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a place called Lakewood Ranch here that's like the Ritzy Ditzy area.
Yep.
Before Lakewood Ranch was here.
Yeah, that was the racing road.
There was an end of a road just on the end of the interstate.
Yep.
And there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And there was cow pasture, a fence, and then there's this like stretch
of road,
like a half a mile that you could use a quarter mile to do it on.
Straight.
Yeah, it was a straight piece of road that nobody used. So it was like other than a farmer during the day.
There. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like I'm sure this farmer's going, fucking kids, every time he went down there because he's like
parts and what have you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
He's probably a rich farmer now. He's sold out to Lakewood
Oh
Ranch.
yeah, I couldn't imagine how much that guy has now. Oh my God, because
or his family or whatever.
It's just weird because Lakewood Ranch kind of happened after the effect. Like we had, like when we were kids, we'd go out Manatee Avenue, and there was like all sorts of like we used to take. Like there's this one road that we used to go on that used to go camping, and go partying and drinking and all the good stuff that you shouldn't do when you're under 18.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint, nobody under 18 listen to this. So we used to go down that road and go camping and get drunk and passed out. And there was also right by the river and the water, and we'd have rope swings and all this other shit. You drive down there now and it's just all houses. And the road, that little bridge that was there is no longer a bridge. It's a link to frickin' Ruskin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, what happened to all of our fun?
Yeah.
It's all gone. It's like a major road now.
Yeah. That people live on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I bounced on my birthday, I bounced a baseball bat into my head and looked like Worf from
Star Trek.
From Star Trek for a month and a half.
Oh, it was at least a couple weeks, I know.
Yeah. Oh my God, I remember that lump. We all used to, back then you had, Oakleys were the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I remember, they got me toasted and bet that I couldn't blow up a 2-liter bottle with a baseball bat. Sure I can. Took straight in the head. Knocked myself out cold. Everybody thought I killed myself. They wanted me to get, back then you're stupid, and they're like, oh, let's go to the hospital. I'm like, nope, I got my car and left before I had to go to the hospital. Kim probably won't let me go on that one. Oh, so, yeah. Oh, but we did some crazy shit. But anyway, so, get into other things. We were looking at, speaking of ridiculous shit, we had a couple things that I was looking at before the show, and friggin' Kimmy showed me this picture, and it was this picture of it was like what do you call it? It was a picture of this bird taking out a freaking drone.
A drone, yeah. That was cool, right?
So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I wanted to get the picture, and I was going to put it on the screen. And then I realized, wait a second. Look at all this other there's these videos, and this is like not the first thing.
It happens a lot.
It's like animals gone wild with drones.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yep.
And like...
Because people are trying to get their best nature photo, and they can do it with a drone. However, you got to respect these animals' perimeters, and if you don't, I mean, that animal doesn't know that that's not another threat to its nest.
Oh, yeah. Like here, we'll bring one up on the screen here. And we'll do a little interact. Now, wait for this one. This one here...
He's going to jump right out of that water. You already know it.
But that ain't the best part. Like, I've watched some of these where like a bird takes it and takes it to the ground and it can't do anything with it.
No, right, exactly. But
Now-
that gator, he will tear your ass up.
Watch this though. This is where it gets really, really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this gator grabs it and
Yep.
and he eats it.
Yeah.
But he brings it underground like water, like he's
Yep,
going to
he's
kill
gonna
it.
drown it. Yep.
But hold on, wait for it. The batteries explode,
And he's still chomping.
and he's still
See?
chomping on it.
If reincarnation's a thing, I want to come back as an alligator. Look at that.
I mean, his freaking ass is on fire practically.
Look at him.
Chomping
He's
this-
like, whatever, I'll just drown
it's
you.
like-
Yeah.
Now there's a
That-
lithium-ion
see?
battery in.
Right? Yeah. Kiss it goodbye.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
freaking
Now
ridiculous.
it's at the bottom of the swamp.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, I mean, the flames on that was crazy.
Yep.
I mean, totally ridiculous. I'm like,
Yeah.
I had to show that. I was like, I mean, it's like,
yeah.
boom, and it's just on fire. So that was we were sitting there. I'm like sitting, I'm like, because I had one where the gator reaches up and grabs it,
Right.
but it just grabs it, throws it to the side, and
like,
goes
whatever.
on his way.
Yeah, you're not a bird.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what you are, but you're not what I
Yeah,
want.
Exactly.
But when you got a gator literally on fire like that, it is so freaking ridiculous. Yeah, like here's another one. Like this is more like what you were showing me earlier. So there's this guy, and he's doing like a circle around, like this park.
yeah. Like
Because
scenery or whatever.
well, the document said that he's doing surveying.
Oh, okay.
If you
Fair
see
enough.
in here, there's these plots of land.
Yep.
But watch what happens. This guy's just sitting here and he's doing it, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner, if you just watch,
Yep.
boom,
How you
this
doing?
eagle
Yeah.
takes it
Oh,
out.
that looked like an osprey. You
No,
sure?
it's an eagle.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's a small eagle. Comes and grabs it and takes it out,
Huh.
and then lands on top of it to kill it
Yeah.
and
I mean,
bring it
that's
to
what-
the.
They typically, when they snatch things,
And bring it
they,
out.
They
Yeah.
drop them to the ground for the purposes of, killing whatever it is that they're preying upon. So
I was like, holy shit. I mean, watch this. I mean, it's just like, you see the bird in the corner. It first comes up like, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. Oh, what
that's
the hell
way
happened?
too far.
Yeah, dogs.
I don't know what you found.
I don't know
but
what
that
I
ain't
found,
it.
but that's not it.
No,
Dogs.
let's not back up. Yeah, I think it's maybe too low res with how we have it clipped down.
No, it's just I rewound it too far, I think. So then there was this one here. And this one's kind of interesting too, because he just grabs it, tosses the
Yeah.
damn thing to the ground,
Yeah.
and I guess like I don't know if he's humping it or what the hell he's doing.
Yeah,
Like he
he's-
just pow,
He's trying to let people know that he's the boss.
and then it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, these guys are like sitting there,
Yeah.
they're doing a film shoot, and this bird and all they're trying to do is do an over of the film, like an overcast of the area,
Right.
and then this bird just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they're huge.
Yeah, and it's like this guy over here to the left that's running running this
Yeah.
controller is like, holy shit,
Holy smokes. Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, and all those raptor style birds, they're all opportunists. So
Oh yeah,
it was like when we had the dead whatever it was out there. An
yeah.
eagle showed up, and the buzzards had already picked the carcass apart, but the eagle showed up because of all the buzzards. So.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I wish I had that picture. Like,
Oh, it'll take me 10 minutes to find that picture.
I know. Well, it's just like this picture was badass because it's like
It was right as he spread his wings.
he
'cause
spread
the
all of
minute-
his wings
yeah,
and his claws come out of the bottom, just like, whoop,
yeah, it was
and
was
grabbed
great.
it,
Yeah.
and then he picks it up, and then he chucks it down to kill it, and then just left. I guess he got what he wanted and got the hell out of there, and then every buzzard in freaking town was in our yard for like 3 days, and people are like, "Oh, well, why throw it away?" I'm like, "Shit, let them
Hey, it's
go at it."
entertainment. Leave my friends alone. I like buzzards. They are nature's cleanup crew.
When they were done with that thing, it was like you could have took the skin of whatever the freaking animal that was and made a hat out of it because there was nothing left.
No, I mean, they literally picked it
They
clean.
picked it freaking clean.
I mean, yeah.
I've never seen that in my life until then. I mean,
skilled butchers couldn't have done as good of a
job. They whittled all. I mean, literally, you walked up to it and there was there was bones, and some bones, some bones and a skin, and that was it. Nothing else.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" So, yeah, it was just some cool ass wildlife.
Yeah.
That I was like, you went from a picture to like I'm just like I had to stop watching them because I would probably be still watching them because there was just like tons of these things.
Cool.
Like this alligator, there's this drone and he's got to be from like maybe 4 or 5 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And he's just getting as close as he can, which is 3 feet-ish kind of in there.
Yeah, shouldn't have gotten that close.
And all of a sudden, this friggin' this alligator just comes out, big old mouth, and whoom, and just grabs a hold of him and brings him underwater. Basically kills the thing, turns it off,
kills the drone,
and lets go of it. And then he's just like he's just like swimming around it for a minute. And it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
This is not a seagull.
Yeah, it's like, man, that is the noisiest seagull I ever seen. He's not noisy now, though, damn it.
Terrible. Yeah.
He doesn't taste like chicken.
Yes, exactly.
Not everything tastes like chicken.
No.
Scotty's on here, and there's stories that we cannot repeat on the air. But Scotty used to have this hat. It was his Bulls hat, and that was his. That everywhere we went, he had to have this Bulls hat on.
Okay.
And that hat had to stay on for everything. Is all I'm going to say. That'll be a story I could tell you off the air, but we are not going to replay that one live on
fair
live and direct.
All right.
But yeah. So anyway, so I was going to go into trying to figure out a story that I could tell you about. But before I go into a last story, let's go into the food review thing because we went to a couple places this week.
We did.
So let's see, which one you want to start with?
He still wears his hat, he says. Good.
Yeah, there you go. With the Bulls
well, I mean, let's do them in order.
All right, so we went to Ford's.
Yes, Ford's was awesome.
And we partaked in the loving of animals, I call it, because Kimmy had hamburger and I had 3 different types of barbecue.
Yeah.
Again with the barbecue. We had to eat the barbecue. And Ford's wasn't bad. They had this thing, it's called a 3-speed, and it has like it has a rack of meat of ribs, some kind of andouille sausage and burnt tips.
The burnt ends.
Burnt ends, they call it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And I was expecting, I wanted
a chain restaurant. It's not going to be.
And honestly, I was
there,
expecting it to be like, okay, well, this will make good content for the show.
Sure.
And not to mention the girl that was there, she was pretty cute. What was that chick that she looks like?
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
she was very kind because they were.
Oh, she was very nice. They're busy as hell.
Overworked, and she took very good care. And
that was one of the things that caught me off guard was the food. They're busy as hell, but she took care of us. But the food was still good.
Oh, the pretzels as the appetizer. I was skeptical about having those, and I'm usually I need more cheese with my pretzel kind of person. The mustard was awesome. Yeah,
it was kind of weird though that it is so funny that you say that. When you're sitting at a table and you see the food come out and it's right above you, you see what it is, right?
Yeah, sure.
And they made these pretzels instead of like a pretzel size. It's like this.
It looked like a breadstick.
It was like a breadstick, but it was a pretzel.
Yes,
and
it was very good.
And there's like 4 of them, 2 going one way and then the other 2 laid on top.
Yep. And
we're just munching them down. I didn't look at what they looked like at all. And so, but when we were sitting there, the people that we were sitting at a table, and there's like these 3 booths sitting over on the side.
They're a little bit elevated.
And a little elevated, and this family's there, and they ordered them too after we were done, and I'm just watching them now. And it looked like they had 4 dildos on the screen. Like, I'll be on there. It was like, I'm like, what the hell did they order? Did they order like 4 pieces of that big ass sausage or something? And and the old lady that's sitting there is like, ooh, look how good that looks. And I'm like, wonder when the last time she had some.
Yeah, but probably a very long time ago.
Get you some mustard sauce with that.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Get your little cheese.
They enjoyed their pretzels, I think.
Yeah, well,
I enjoyed ours.
It's just that from our dad, I'm just like thinking what other people thought of ours, because it's just like these big mammoth like dongs on their table.
Hey, you know what? You're entitled to think whatever dirty thought crosses your mind. Please don't share it with me unless I ask.
Well, you know that isn't true. I share it whether you want to hear it or not.
You can share. I mean, the table of strangers sitting near me, I don't want to hear what they have to say. Because then it becomes an open forum and shit's going to go down.
Yeah, like the gaggle of cackling people.
Oh, God, yeah, right?
But anyways, back to the food. The barbecue was really good. I mean, it really, really, really was good.
Yeah, somebody knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. And I was shocked because the ribs were, like, awesome. Like, they were what I would expect from, like, a barbecue place. Like a real barbecue place, not like some crap place, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was quite shocked, honestly.
Yeah.
And your burger was like ginormous.
That burger was so good.
They said it was a half-pound burger, but the thing was...
That was like a third of a pound, definitely. Because you've made half-pound burgers here at home, and yeah, that was like a third of a pound burger. And the bacon was really good. It was like thick, hearty bacon, not the cheap bacon
that I was
people
shocked.
try to slide in all the time. So... And not for nothing, but we went in there, and I literally had the appetizer, I had the meal, and I even had dessert picked out, and I was like, there's no freaking way I can eat dessert.
Right?
Like, I was so full. Yeah.
So, anyway, so that was the first place we ate. What was the second one?
And then we ate at Wingstop.
Oh, yeah, the Wingstop. Wingstop is a weird place to eat in.
Wingstop, okay. I'm not criticizing Wingstop when I say this, but Wingstop is kind of like takeout jail.
Yeah,
you have to go and ask for a fork. You know, I mean, are forks a hot commodity?
No, but I'll tell you something about the fork thing. The first if you order and leave with it, they ask you right then. Do you need plates, knives, forks, and extra shit?
I guess that's your cue to ask for all that stuff.
They didn't. And I was like it caught me off guard.
Because we said to the woman, hey, we'll just eat here.
Yeah.
We will eat here. And I know we had it a couple of times because the first time we ordered and then we're like, oh, wait, let's change that to this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the discussion was very thorough.
Oh, yeah.
About that we were eating in. We weren't taking it away.
Yeah, and then she gave me a bag, and I'm like, well, is this how... I mean, like, okay, well, whatever. I thought everybody'd have their individual, because it's supposed to be like chicken for 2 or some shit, and everything was in one container, so I'm like, okay, now I got to cut the box in half and give you half and me half. It was kind of
It was all right. We made it happen.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, you don't pay a fortune for it. You get some pretty decent wings. That's what it is, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it was...
Hey, they got High C.
Yeah, then they had High C Orange.
And the little
High C
Coke
Orange,
robot machine.
And that's weird because High C Orange doesn't come... I thought it didn't come anywhere but McDonald's. But I guess since McDonald's bounced it out and then brought it back, now it's everywhere.
Now it's open, yeah. So, yeah, despite other, health concerns... I had to have some High C Orange.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of weird. It was like, and then they sit there and watch you eat. I don't know if it was
Did
like,
you see the window? Yeah.
It's like a window where they work, and the lady's like making shit, and she's just like staring at us, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm okay. I guess that's okay. And I don't know. I just thought it was the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah, but whatever. But getting there and everything else is where things get nuts. I don't know what has happened in Bradenton talking about odd shit.
I mean, I know people say all the time that we're a country full of immigrants. Fine. But
it's like nobody knows how to drive.
Exactly.
I mean and now anybody that knows me, I mean, my name is Sammy, my nickname's Sammy Speed. Okay? It's on my tag of all things.
Yep.
And so is the I ate it tag.
Yeah.
But the thing is that but it's like it's like going fast and then just being ridiculously like an idiot driving.
Yes.
I mean like 2 days ago I had a lady that literally was in the turn lane that's supposed to be to go to turn left, and she just comes on over.
Yeah.
There was no place to put her. And if it wasn't for a lady next to me, I would have been taken out. And I don't know how I got out of that. I still don't know how I got out of that.
Whoever was driving the car to the right really needed something from that.
From 7-Eleven, because if
exactly.
it wasn't for that, it was like zoom, zoom, I'd been screwed.
Yep.
I'd really been screwed. So, but yeah, so I just couldn't believe it.
I think your car needs air horns.
I
because
really
then
I'm
when you see
that
lane ending, you can just lay on that, and just.
Yeah, maybe what I'll do is we'll
she'll get so tired of hearing it, she'll slow down, and then you win anyway.
That might be a good idea.
See?
Maybe we'll get. Maybe that's the cool thing we might do. Maybe we'll go ahead and
do like a secondary video of putting that in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we can put a video in where we're just dealing with people and their shit.
And then maybe Mr. Shortcut will venture down the street again, and we can test out the horns on him.
Yeah, because I'll put a remote control on it, so I'm inside the house. I hear somebody out there.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
I'll need a new air compressor in like 3 months because I'll be sitting there hitting the fucking button.
Dirty Harry next door will come out with his Clint Eastwood gun and
dropping
blow people away.
Dropping the air horn. Bah!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, that's gonna be awesome. We'll put a siren in it, maybe.
No sirens. You don't need to be arrested.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know those people.
Yeah, I know.
Impersonating the police. Okay, well now I'm impersonating a truck driver, so F off.
FT in effect, baby. Full trucker effect.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so let's see. So we'll close out with an old school story. So I used to run out at a bike shop. I used to work at a bike shop until I was 18.
In your youth, yes.
In my youth. And when you're young, dumb, and stupid, you tend to do shit that you shouldn't do.
No.
And we used to all hang, like after hours, we used to all hang out at the bike shop.
Yep.
And do things that we shouldn't do.
Yeah.
We won't mention the bike shop name or town.
Right.
But it's a very small town. It's an island town.
Near us, yeah.
And yes, Scotty. But we had maybe when I retire from what I do now.
Right, yeah.
But we just have this. So we would work at this bike. We go to the bike shop at night and hang out because we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have, we didn't have anything like you have now with social media.
Now, right.
It didn't even. I mean, honestly, we barely had anything that resembled internet except for websites to go and buy shit.
Right.
And most of the time they were in books. You had to look up a book. And
a catalog.
People that are young, watch out, guys. Sorry that this is, But yeah, so it was like, so we were at this bike shop at night, and we thought we might have partaked in something that was of a liquid persuasion. Kids don't do that after hours. But a couple of us got a little more
adventurous,
hydrated than others.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So we were overly hydrated with liquid refreshment.
Okay. That was not water.
Yeah, it was probably soda, a sugar high. That's what it was. We were all, and we do stupid shit. And one of us had a pair of shorts on. And when I think we actually were working at the same time, catching up shit. Mm-hmm. If I don't remember,
putting
maybe
stuff together.
It was either we're putting stuff together. It was like during the Christmas time,
or
we were we were doing some bikes up for like the rentals or whatever. Playing catch up.
Fair enough.
And when you're working on bikes, you have cleaner. That's back then. It wasn't like now where everybody's like, oh, don't get the chlorinated one or don't use the one that's got gas in it or whatever.
Sure, right, yeah.
And so you're spraying the shit down with practically brake cleaner, which is like something that you could use to drive your car.
Okay.
And it's all over the floor. And with the WD-40 and everything else.
Oh, fire hazard.
And I can't remember exactly who it was. It might have been Scotty. It might have been Lil Brian. Might have been Scott, the other Scotty, but one of them was sitting. It wasn't a rich boy. It had to be one of them two. And they sat. They were cleaning, and they sat in the. It had to be Lil Brian, because he was always there. He lived down the street.
Yeah.
And he sat in the oil that was on there.
No.
So we were sitting there like, oh, this is interesting. So it's like, hey, your pants are on fire. It's like, and so. Because I was so hydrated and not thinking clearly because of all the sugar in my head, I thought, well, we have this a little blowtorch here, like you use for propane to heat up something.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And we'll put it on low, and we'll just, so you don't go home with wet pants or you're going anywhere. Yeah. We'll just heat up the back of your pants real quick. And warm up your pants.
Great idea.
Well, they ignited.
Yeah.
And there was two big ass butt cheeks in these shorts. So we're like, oh shit, we caught on fire.
Flammable.
The friggin' smoke alarm's going off.
Nice.
So now I'm like, oh shit, we put them out.
Yeah.
And then after we put them out, we went out. We're like, oh shit! Well, we can't stay in here.
Right. Yeah.
So let's vent it. So I had the fan going on the back door,
clear the smoke.
And we went outside. Just to sit outside. So if a cop came or the fireman came, we didn't know who was going to show up.
Right.
We didn't realize the alarm was.
Cover our bases.
We didn't realize the fire thing was just for the building.
That's good.
And it went off eventually, but we were walking around outside, and of course. I am very hydrated, so I need to relieve myself. Mm-mm. So we thought it would be kind of funny to pee on cars. So, yes. So I believe Lil Brian with his assless chaps went out there first, and he in his car drives by. He goes, "Hey guys, look at this! I bet you $5 that you will not go out there and pee on the next car." So he's standing out there, okay, and he's sitting out there, and car comes by, and you just hear as he drives by, and we're like, "Oh, that's hilarious!"
Guy probably thinks he ran into a sprinkler or something.
So Brian's like, "Oh, good, give me another $5." I'm like, "No, I want to do it now." So I go out there and I go to whip it out, and I'm waiting, like I'm just sitting there, and it's like, just act like you're walking down the street there. There's a little sidewalk in front of the bike shop.
Sure.
And it's like, okay. And I'm like, all right. So we're sitting there walking down the street, and all of a sudden I see a headlight, and all I hear is, no. And I thought they said, go. And I turned around, and I whipped it out, and woo! I peed on the motorcycle, the only motorcycle cop in this little town that did not like me very well as it was.
I can't imagine why. And was this also Rubber Ball Cop?
No, this wasn't a Rubber Ball Cop. This was the net. For the people that know us and like Scotty knows, it was the island next to us was even smaller police department.
Sure.
And the biggest asshole cop that's on that force.
Yeah.
And those cops were dicks anyway. But this was like the king dick of the whole friggin'.
Oh yeah.
And I just pissed all over this guy. Right. I mean, I just unloaded on him because I had to go bad, and I just unloaded on this guy. And he pulls over, and the first thing he does, he's wiping the side of his off his because he's got a helmet on, so he's wiping his neck off because it hit the
it splashed. It splattered, everywhere.
Yeah, and it just hit. It just splattered all over the fairing of the motorcycle. Hit him and then went right down the side of him, and so he's wiping it off. He's like, because that's the first thing. He's like, oh, what is that? He's smelling it, and I just fucking run behind the building and just kept running and kept running, and it was like,
holy cow.
They were looking for me for hours.
I can't imagine why.
but here's where the funny part comes in. It was Lil Brian and this other guy are still there. They're just standing and sitting there like, and Brian's got assless chips. We're sitting there like, I don't know who it was. And they go, bullshit, you know, like we went,
where's your friend? What friend?
So the next day, I'm at the bike shop because it's like on a Friday, so on a Saturday, I'm opening up, and Brian's like, "Man, that wasn't cool, man. That just wasn't cool, buddy.
That wasn't cool.
That wasn't cool at all, man." Like, why? He goes, "You left. He goes, I'm just sitting there, and this guy's, And I guess Lil Brian was the reason why the cop was out there is because he peed on the car, and the car called the cops. Oh no! And then the cops came out to check it out, and I peed on the car. So Ray got in trouble, and he's like 12. And they take him out. I just imagine what his dad thought. He's getting pulled over he's getting brought home by the cops at midnight with no shorts on his ass.
Yeah, right.
Just a pair of butt cheeks.
Oh.
It's like,
oh my gosh.
Come get your shit.
Right.
Poor kid. That ain't cool, man. That's all I remember. That ain't cool, man.
That ain't cool. You ran.
I ran. I'm done, man. Peace out. I just pissed on a cop. I ain't getting out of here.
We're not going to jail. Allergic to stainless.
I'm not going anywhere tonight. So anyway, well, everybody. So we'll shut it down at that story. Thank you guys all for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. And please go on YouTube and please subscribe for us.
That'd be awesome.
And ring the bell and all that. Ringing the bell means that you get
notified.
You'll get notified when we get ready to go on air.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, it gives you it helps us because that little algorithm goes out there, and if you like us, then it advertises us out. To other people
that don't know us.
Exactly. So, and we also have if you're on Facebook, remember we're going to be going over to the Sammitized area right now. It's playing there too, but we're going to be eventually moving over to that only. Mm-hmm. I'm getting off of my personal one, but feel free to watch this over here as long as you want.
Yeah.
And we'll make.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you've gone this far, I appreciate it.
You've survived.
Another
night.
Another night of this.
Sammitized.
Yeah. Of my stupid idiot stories. And the funny part is, I didn't even get into this week's stories.
Oh.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Oh, we went through other shit, and I didn't even go through the other one. So, we'll keep them for next time. So until then,
he'll write them down. I'll be on pins and needles for a week, but I'll be there with you.
Yeah, because I didn't tell her about them either. So she's looking at me like I just want to see the reaction on her face. But anyway, so thank you guys again. Thank you for checking that box. And if you're watching this on a rerun, thank you as well. We appreciate you 100%.
Most
sorry,
definitely.
It's 9:00 at night. We probably move this to 8 later on.
Yeah,
but
I'm hoping so. I start yawning about 8:45.
yeah, she says I don't want her falling asleep on me, turn into a pumpkin at 10:30 or something. But anyway, thank you again, and we appreciate you.